that you've had, how much hungrier does it leave you given the journey that you've had?
Both very good questions. One is right at the top for sure. It's one of my fondest memories so far, and hopefully more to come. And definitely hungry. I think tasting that win after such a difficult period, is amazing. It's almost like sometimes it feels hopeless, but then a victory like this comes along, and it's like it brings that whole positivity back and that dream closer again. So it's a big thing for me and for my season for sure.
And when you look back at 2021, I mean, there was a time when you were looking like it's not going to work out, talking about, thinking about giving it all up, and then standing here today in 2025. Not a very long time has passed from 2021 to 2025. Thing has, your life has obviously changed a lot. Did you imagine, did you see it happening the way it has happened? Did you see things falling in place the way they have?
No, man. Yeah, I was done really. I was not in a very good place mentally. I didn't leave the house for a while for sure. Obviously, I didn't race that year really. And yeah, it was definitely the lowest moment of my life. But to know where I am now, if you had told me that then, I would be like, that'd have to be a miracle. And that's why I believe everything happens for a reason, because I've come back from that, and where I am now, there's a reason for it, and I'm looking forward to finding out what it is.
And joining Alpine from being on the simulator to getting into the surf track, how do you see that journey panning out in the future now? Because obviously you're on the up,
Yeah.
choreographic on the up. So how soon do you expect or you want to be in that main race?
Of course, as soon as possible, but things don't work in sport as you want it to sometimes, and in the end, I haven't had the results the last 2 years to warrant a seat yet. But I know I have the potential to. I know I have the speed to. A lot of things need to click, especially in Formula 2, for it to come together. But I really feel it can this year. So yeah, I would say I just need to focus on my job. Being reserve is one step closer, obviously. There's opportunities, a lot more opportunities, and you're almost like the next on the list almost. So you're there, you're in the frame, but in the end, it's all down to you and how you perform in Formula 2, and that's my only goal right now.
Just a couple of questions. Kush, when you look at your experience or your time that you spend in the F1 circuit and then you come back to the F2 circuit, what are the things that you kind of bring in from there in terms of lessons, learnings, and you try to implement?
It's massive. Like even my F1 tests, in F2 you have your one engineer and your one data engineer. So you work with two engineers basically to get the car as quick as possible. When I do my F1 test, there's about like 50. There's 4 or 5 engineers on aero. There's 4 or 5 on power unit, everything. So there's so much more detail. There's so many more processes. It's just it's a different world. So obviously going from that back to F2, you can bring a lot of your experience from that back to here, some processes the teams use, and maybe help the team you're in currently. And the teams love that as well when a driver is mature and wants to help build the processes of a team, because it's a huge part when you don't have time in a weekend, because we have just 2 sessions before obviously the races. So yeah.
And for a young boy that is out there on the circuit all alone, how much of a bond that you have in terms of spirituality with Hનુman? You mentioned in the previous interview as well. Even today you mentioned.
Yeah,
just touching for that.
Always.
So how did it all work around? Like, is it something that you have picked up recently, or is it something that you've followed something right from the childhood?
Always. I don't know. He's the God that's always stood out to me. Always helped me when I needed to. Always helped me become a better person as well and learn more about myself. Every day I feel like, as a human, I've done something which I could have done better. I always look to him in the night and say, give me strength to help me achieve, becoming a better person. And in the end, that's what life is about. Finding your potential in sport and also your potential as being a human being, I think is very important. So yeah, when I was alone all those days, he was always with me. I would have to say my faith has grown much, much stronger, definitely the last 3-4 years, but he's always been thereabouts in my life.